Hey, what's up you guys? It's me, AB, and if you can tell by the title of this video, yes, I got a new job. Well, it's not new, it's the only job I've ever had. But basically that's why I've been so MIA for the past like 2 weeks. I know I uploaded a video about, I would say like a week or so ago, and it was of my dad doing my voiceover, but I had filmed that like way back when I was still in school in Oxford. And so I just haven't really filmed in a while because honestly I haven't really found the time to film. My job is an hour away from where I live, so I have to commute every day, and that means I have to get up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. And so I really haven't figured out my schedule yet. I can't really do it at night because once I get home I have to eat, run, and then take a bath and go to bed. That's basically what's been going on with me, but I'm so excited that I got a new job and that I've been given this awesome opportunity with an awesome company. And basically today I wanted to show you kind of like basically what I do every day. Now, my face products pretty much stay the same. I usually just like to switch out my highlight and my eyeshadow. It just depends on what I'm feeling that day. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance if my positioning in the frame is a little off, like if I'm not exactly in the middle, because I'm just kind of sick of my monitor. The Wi-Fi here is horrendous, so my phone won't stay connected, and therefore it's not connecting to my computer, so it's like the monitor's going in and out. And I'm just kind of over it, to be honest with you. I don't really want to invest in a monitor, but I might have to. This will just give you guys a little bit of an idea of a quicker way to do your makeup when you have to get ready quickly for work, but still look pretty okay. We still need to be feeling good about ourselves, especially at work, because if I go to work and my makeup's all funky, I don't feel good about myself. Okay, I always need to be feeling good about myself. So if you guys want to see how I do my makeup pretty much every single day at work, then let's get on into the video. First, I'm going to start out with brows like I usually do, and I'm actually going to go in with the AOA Studio Wonder Brow. This stuff is, I think, $1 from Shop Miss A, and it's really, really nice. I enjoy it very much. It's just easy for me to kind of do a brow pomade rather than a brow pencil because I have less like chances to mess up. And I know you guys have not seen me do my eyebrows in quite a while. And this is just how I prefer to do it because I have more of a grip, I feel like, on this brush than I do a pencil. And it's just a bit easier to work with because it is like a pomade and not a waxy stick. I don't know how to explain it. I just really do prefer a pomade. So now that the brows are done, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes first because even though I'm not doing something crazy on my eyes, I still want to make sure that I don't have any fallout. And I just kind of prefer to do my eyes first anyways. So I'm just going to use the concealer that I'm going to be using later on to like conceal my eyes. Now, I will suggest if you have oily eyelids to go ahead and use an eye primer and not a concealer. I think for oily eyes, the best one is the Urban Decay eye primer. They have a few different ones, but they're all pretty much the same. The original one's really good. And for all you mature skinned ladies out there, they also have one with anti-aging properties in it, and it's the same price as the original. So I would honestly recommend that one because you can't really go wrong with anti-aging properties, and I would use that for myself if I had oily eyes too. Alrighty, then I'm just gonna set that down with some powder. Alrighty, then for my eyeshadow, I'm actually going to pop into the BH Cosmetic Desert Oasis palette. I really do love this palette, and mainly because of these two transition colors in it right here. I don't want to blind y'all, but this one and this one is really good for a basic eye look. I'm just going to take like a fluffy brush and hop into the shade Canyon right there and just buff that into my crease. And this is just going to act as our transition shade. This is a pretty deep transition shade too. Typically I would go in with like a lighter one, but I'm not going with too many colors since I do have to get ready pretty quickly. So pretty much I just go in with one transition color, and that is pretty much it. Then with more of a flatter, dense brush, I'm gonna pop into the shade Dune and just pick up a smidge of this because it is pretty dark and pigmented. And I'm just gonna pop that on my very outer corner. Okay, then to just add a little bit of shimmer to my eyes, I'm gonna use the shade Terrain just on my lid. I'm just gonna spray my brush with some setting spray, just to make it pop a little bit better. Then taking a thin, flat brush with I don't know if you can tell, but it's really, really thin, so you can achieve a really good eyeliner look with it. And I'm just gonna hop into the shade Nightscape because I've gotten to where I honestly prefer using browns on my eye as eyeliner because black can tend to be harsh, especially if you're going to work. And I feel like I have pretty small eyes. So if I put too much black on my eyes, I look really, really closed in. Okay, then just using a makeup wipe, I'm just gonna clean up the edges of my eyeshadow just to make it look a little bit sharper. And then for mascara, I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and this one's really, really nice. And this one's kind of really close to the L'Oreal, the Paradise one, the pink one like this. This one's just a lot heavier, and I've heard many good things about it. And I'm not too picky about whatever mascara I wear because I do, you guys are gonna laugh, I do wear false lashes to work, but they're very comfortable. I can't ever feel them. And honestly, and I told my coworkers this, it takes more time for me to put on mascara than it does to pop on lashes. Like this is just like a basic coat of mascara, and I'm just doing this like really pretty heavy mascara just to show you guys, you know, what this mascara looks like on its own, and then I'll put lashes over it. But typically, I'll just do one layer of mascara and then put on my false lashes. So this is what the lashes look like without false lashes, and I really do like this mascara. It really gives a lot of volume to the lashes. It doesn't necessarily lengthen them, but it does kind of push them up a little bit and add some volume. So I do like this mascara. I will say it's a little pricey for a mascara. To me, when it comes to mascara, I just kind of stick to the drugstore because, I mean, unless the mascara gives me the effect that false lashes is going to give me, I'm not going to pay that much money for it. I'm just going to pop on some lashes. You obviously don't have to do this. This is just my personal preference because I like the way I look in them better. And again, I don't feel them. I don't feel them at all throughout the day because they have such a small lash band, very, very thin, that you can't feel it. So I'll pop those on and then let you know where I got them from. Me personally, I just feel so much prettier with them on. You know, it's a bit much I know it's a bit much when you start wearing them and you haven't worn them ever and you don't really know how to put them on, and it just seems like a mess. And I will probably do a video, if you guys want me to, of an in-detail video of how I apply my lashes. I can definitely do that for you guys, but it took me a long time to figure them out myself. So I will definitely do that for you guys. Leave me a comment down below if you want me to. But I just used these lashes from Shop Miss A. This is the AOA Studio brand, and this is in the style Alexis, and I love them very much. So I have pretty dry skin, so I want to go in with a primer that's pretty moisturizing so that throughout the day my skin isn't like flaking and all that. And I have gotten to love this primer, and this is from Morphe. This is the Morphe Foundation Primer in the, I guess you would say the Finish Revitalizer. This is, I don't know, it should have been like moisturized. I don't know, it should have been something like hydrating, a word, but it's the word revitalizer. So if you want one that is very hydrating, then I would go with revitalizer. And I'm just going to apply a little bit because it is super hydrating, and I'm just going to apply that all over my face. If you want to avoid being super flaky, I would suggest exfoliating twice a week with a facial exfoliator. You can look up on the internet. Right now I'm using the Dr. Brandt one because I think I got it in like a BoxyCharm one time, but I wouldn't pay that in real life. You can literally just use any kind of facial exfoliator, and it just really gets that dead skin off, and I love it. And with foundation, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I don't love that when brands put 24-hour wear, because that's kind of false, because when you have something on for 24 hours, you might be touching your face, you may be sweating. I don't think this is like a matte finish. I think it's just like a normal, natural finish. So if you sweat, it's gonna come off, and I don't love when they put 24 hours on there, because honey, you ain't supposed to be wearing your makeup for 24 hours. You gonna break out. The longest I would go with wearing makeup is like 12, and then you need to take it off because you're gonna break out if you don't. It is full coverage, and this one's pretty new. It's not super thick, which I love. I'm gonna actually tuck my hair behind my ears for this. It's super full coverage, but it doesn't feel heavy, which is my favorite thing ever, because if something's full coverage, you really need to try it out first, because if it is heavy, you're not gonna wear it because it's just gonna feel gross on your face all day. I can't wear something that feels heavy. I just can't. So with my Real Technique sponge, I'm gonna go ahead and blend that in. You can already see how full coverage it is. And again, I don't think this is a matte finish. I'm pretty sure it's just like a natural finish. And if you guys are wondering what shade I'm using the shade 445. For concealer, I'm going to use the Collab concealer. I'm pretty sure it's their only one, but this is the No Flaws Liquid Concealer, and I'm in the shade Sand Beige. This is one of my favorite concealers if I want something dewy and just really hydrating, because to me, like, the Tarte Shape Tape is pretty as matte as I'll get, and it's a pretty matte concealer, but it's also extremely full coverage. This one has pretty good coverage, but I just love it because it's super hydrating, and honestly, that is the first thing on my face that's going to be dry is my under eyes. So I always use a cream at night to keep them hydrated, and then for work I'll use like a very hydrating concealer, which is why I love this one. I always like to put extra on my chin, because again, that's another place that goes so quick, because I'm like sitting with my fist on my chin and all that, and pulling that out. Then I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. This is not a bronzer. Again, it ain't a bronzer. Like, who honestly is that white? And I'm just going to take my Morphe M438 and just set my under eye area. And I would suggest doing this pretty quickly after you put on your concealer, because your eyes are like, it's going to crease. Like, I don't understand why people are like always complaining about their concealer creasing so fast. I'm like, well, yes, it's a liquid and you have creases underneath your eyes, so when you look down, it's going to crease. Then for powder, I'm going to use my Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. I'm almost out of this. I don't even know if I really have any left. And you guys, these things are back in style. These are like the little puff balls that they used to use these kind of sort of things back in the day, and they would be like huge, and they'd take powder and just puff it all over their face. Well, you can get these pretty much anywhere now. This one I'm pretty sure is from Walgreens, and I like it because it's super like thick and fluffy, and it has a little thing for your fingers, which most of them should, but you just kind of press it into your powder and then press it in to your skin, and it just gives you the most flawless application ever. This is the only way I will apply my powder now. Now I'm just gonna buff the shade Canyon underneath my eyes, because I don't like to do anything too crazy underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to pop on some white liner in my waterline. This is from Morphe in the shade Coconut. And this trick is just my lifesaver because I'm obviously very tired going into work since I have to get up so early. But this kind of like, can you tell the difference in this eye and this eye, how much more awake I look in this eye? That's one trick, and I know I've talked about it a few times, but I just love this little method right here. And if you don't, obviously, I think I said this in another video, if you don't want to use white, you can use like a really light nude. I know MAC has some really good light nude colors, so there you go for that. Then for contour, I'm going to go in with my Tarteist Pro Glow palette. And one of the only reasons why I use this palette is for this contour shade right there, and it is in the shade Sculpt, I believe. Yes, this is the best contour shade. So I'm just gonna take some of this on a kind of a fluffy brush and just kind of chisel out my cheekbones. I don't do like a super harsh contour for work because I do go in with a good amount of bronzer, but this is just to give my face some like dimension and shadows, bringing those shadows back to my face. Then for bronzer, I'm going to use my Marc Jacobs bronzer in the shade Tantastic. This is their Omega Bronze, and oh, I just love this bronzer. Oh, the smell of it is just amazing, and I can't get over how big this pan is. It's freaking huge. I'm going to swirl my brush in it. I want to say bronzer is probably my favorite part of makeup. I know, it's kind of weird, but it just brings so much life back to your face. This and blush. Blush really does bring a lot of life back to your face too. For blush, I use the Tarte blush in the shade Exposed, and I use the Tarte blushes pretty much on a daily basis because if I have to be somewhere for so many hours of the day and I'm not going to bring a blush with me, this one lasts pretty much all day long and the color just stays. This is one of the only blushes that I have ever used. Not just this shade in particular. This shade is very, very light, but this blush formula is amazing. For highlight, oh, I love this highlight so much. I'm so glad that I bought this. And I'm sorry if I'm blinding you, but this is the MAC. This is the MAC highlighter in Oh Darling. Basically, it's called an Extra Dimension Skin Finish, but it's just a highlighter. And of course, this was a holiday collection. That's why it has like a little present with a bow. But you can get this, and I'll link it below, the Oh Darling shade and just their natural packaging. And I kind of do like that one better. But this one I think was half off, so that's why I got this, and I've been wanting it for a while. So I use this every day to work because it is so pretty. It's gold. It makes you look tan. Sometimes when you use like a super frosty highlight, a little bit more lighter of a skin tone than you are. So that's why I prefer to use a gold, because it just makes me look tan. I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. Get a good bit on there because it's not obviously loose. It is like very, very nicely pressed. And just apply it to the skin. Oh, you know, like whenever those commercials come on TV where it's like all of the melted chocolate is just being poured into the Lindor chocolate ball, and it just is so creamy and it's very satisfying. That's how highlighter is to me when I apply it. Is that weird? Probably. I always have to line my lips because I know my lips aren't thin, but I just want them to be a little bit more bigger, so I will overline my lips a little bit, and I have to use a lip liner to do so. I'm not going to talk during this because I'm going to screw up, so excuse me. So typically I would always suggest using a liquid lipstick if you have to go somewhere out and you need your lips to be kind of like stayed put all day. But when you're at work, you're like eating and drinking, and pretty much you don't have like the chance to go into the bathroom, take your lip off, reapply it, just touch everything up. So I like to go in with a lipstick. I'm going to be using the Morphe matte lipstick in the shade Wifey. Then of course you need to set your face with some setting spray, and this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray in the scent Rose. I was gonna say shade, it's definitely not a shade, it's clear. But this is in the scent Rose. These just came out. These launched probably, I wanna say, a few weeks ago, a month ago maybe. And they have a bunch of different like scents. One is like the natural finish, and that's the one that kinda has the smell like really bad. Then they have like a matte finish, and they have a coconut coconut scent. I like the rose one because I do love the smell of rose. Now, if you're not huge on the rose scent, I wouldn't recommend getting this, but I do love it, and I love the spray on this. It's not super like in your face. It's just perfect enough. So alright you guys, and this is the final look. This is pretty much what I wear on a day-to-day basis when I go to work. Leave a comment down below for any more ideas or anything that you want to see from me. Again, I do want to do a more in-depth video of how I apply my lashes. So if you guys are interested in that, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell next to it so that you will be notified when I upload my next video. And until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.